Hi, friends.
We are excited to come and say hi to you today. It's been a while,
Yeah.
and we are still here, and we're doing well, and we're thankful, we're healthy, and I think the government, our president, has kind of loosened some of the lockdown, and I think once the lockdown got a little bit loosened, where he allowed private vehicles to start moving out again, we just started getting a little bit busier, and
Hmm.
we found it a little bit difficult to come and check in with you, but you've really been on our hearts and minds, and we're just excited to finally have a chance to say hi.
Yeah.
And we have lots to share. Our kids are outside playing right now with squirt guns with some of the next door neighbor kids. So if you hear shrieks, that's what you're hearing, our kids. Or
Yeah.
if you see little girls running by in their swimming costumes.
But we are excited to really talk to you today because we do have a lot to share. We hope we can share it all. The 2 months, I think it's almost 2 months since we last sent an update.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because we've not wanted to, but lives, like Heidi just said, have become busier and busier.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, right after the lockdown, the needs here in Uganda just continue to grow daily. Lots of people stopped working, lots of businesses closed, people lost their jobs. Our church was affected extensively. I mean, there's nobody in our church who was not affected and lost income. And so we want to start by thanking you all
Mm-hmm.
for coming to our rescue and sending. We've got so much support from so many people, some people that we didn't even know about, from individuals we don't know about, from churches we do not know about.
Mm-hmm.
And we've received over $20,000 in the last 4 months. And it's been greatly helpful to be able to assist so many people. In the last 4 months, we've been supporting over 220 families. And when I mean supporting them, we've been doing it every single week,
Mm-hmm.
sending money and buying food for all these families. I never thought that we would ever get that kind of money to be able to take care of so many people. And up to now, we're still doing that. Up to now, we're still supporting these families, and we would not be able to do that if it wasn't for you. So we want to start by thanking you for letting us do that.
Mm-hmm.
However, having that kind of money has turned us into some kind of bank, and so that has added a lot of logistics and paperwork and phone calls and networking and connecting with different suppliers that is not usually part of my daily job. And so that has, I'm always on the phone. I spend maybe 4 hours a day on the phone sending money to different people because all this was going on while we were on the lockdown, while we cannot move. And even now, even though we can move, there's still restrictions on times of when you can be out there. The traffic is so bad that it doesn't really make sense to get out. You're better off you working with delivery companies and borders to get food to people rather than going out there. So
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, there's still a lot of restrictions. So anyways, it's added a lot of work on my side, and it's partly why I haven't really had the time. Partly why I haven't been able to get back to you all. But nonetheless, we have just been able to take care of so many people, and I just wanted to highlight some of the people you people already know. For example, Obed and Lorraine, who many of you know. Lorraine has kidney failure, and especially during the lockdown, her situation even got worse, where she needed to get dialysis twice a week. And again, that the funds we've had have come to their rescue, and we've been able to give them money to be able to do this. In addition to the money that already we had been given, that we had raised last year to be able to support them, and so
Mm-hmm.
they're so thankful. And then some of our border friends, we have about four border guys that we are supporting on a regular basis to feed their families. And then we have some of the people we've worked with, casual workers that have worked in our home at one point or another that we've hired for a job, and we're feeding these people. And then we have the people in our churches, and then we have people in Kasese, where I teach about 90 families in Kasese and another 90 families in Tororo, uh, cutting across 8 churches. And so, yeah, it's just been amazing to be able
Mm-hmm.
to assist all these people. And then ministry opportunities that have come as a result of that, building relationships with new people. For example, Sheena, who is the girl I think we told you about in our previous updates, who came to our house with her sister, and we've since gotten to know their whole family. We've met the mom, and so we've been able to continue to support them financially, but also share the gospel with them. Heidi has been sharing material for the kids to do because kids are now going to school, so they have plenty of time in their hands. So giving them Bible study lessons. So that's been fun. So we just wanted to let you know that uh, we continue to seek for your support first of all, because the need is still there. People are still not working. We predict this is going to keep on going on for maybe till the end of the year, because the Ugandan government has, unlike many other governments, they've been very slow at opening up the country. The airport is still closed, and public transportation is partially functional. Not all taxis cannot be full to capacity. Businesses, malls, half of the malls in the city are still closed, and so everything is kind of operating at half capacity, and that's really affected the whole city. It's affected the whole country, and so yeah, we continue to still get people asking for help. Now, I also wanted to give you an update on our own business, Red Road Tours, which we've traditionally used as a means of networking in the city, and also as a means of developing young people and discipling them. And that as well, Red Road Tours has been hit very badly, and we the company depends on tourists, and there are no tourists coming into the country, so that also has been affected. We still are able to employ the people that are on staff, but we've had to cut down their salaries, and we're trying now to try and find ways to help them so that they can continue to make income as well. So COVID-19 definitely has brought its challenges, but we're also very thankful for the opportunities that have come. Now, the other thing I want to share about opportunities, Heidi has had a chance, and maybe I'll let you talk about that, about some of the opportunities that have come.
Yeah, we got to the point realizing that we don't know when churches will be allowed to get back together. Our president has stopped all schools, all churches, all large gatherings. And yet so many people now are just struggling to survive, to eat, and just sending sermons and messages through WhatsApp. It's just not hitting them where they need to be helped. They need time just to be listened to be helped in the area of what type of business could I do at this point to make some money to feed my family. So we've just decided to begin, as the elders of Non-Sinai Bible Church and the wives, to begin to just go out and try to meet with people on an individual basis, wear our mask, and just kind of meet with people. So I've started with two young ladies. Maria, she's a lovely young woman. She's 21, single. She helps us in our children's ministry program. And her sister, Peace. They both were having some medical issues, and so that was kind of an entry point for me to be able to take them to the doctor and to the dentist, and to get some treatment for them. Maria's doing much better physically. Peace has a lot of dental needs. And so it's been fun for me to get back into my dentistry. I actually went to their home and I met with their mom and their brother and their sister, and like half the neighborhood kids were all crammed into this one room, this one little living room that they live in. And I did a dental hygiene lesson, and we were all there brushing our teeth and learning how to floss and just how to have better oral hygiene, just to do prevention. But now over the next couple weeks, I'll be taking care of Peace, and that's only because so many of you have given and supported so that we can be able to help her with. She has a lot of dental issues. She's 18 years old. She's a young woman, and at this point, if we weren't to help her, she was headed for dentures, pretty quickly in the next couple years. And that's really affected her confidence. She's just a lovely, lovely young woman, and so it's just been fun to sit with her at the dentist and to be able to talk to her and get to know her, and Lord willing, just have more discipleship opportunities, and just to see her grow in confidence as she's able to talk and to smile and not be in pain. And there's loads of stories like that, but at least we get to help one.
And I loved that, you know, part of going to the dentist, they get exposed because they get to experience things that they normally wouldn't. They live in a lower income part of the country, of the city, so now with Heidi, they've just been able to experience parts of the city they never thought they could get to, experience food they've never tried, just a whole different lifestyle. I think that exposure alone builds their confidence and helps them feel like, okay, I have I can do this as well. I don't have to be afraid of this city. I can find a job here, and so I'm excited to see what opportunities are going to come from that as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been meeting with a Muslim guy. His name is Ibra, and his wife Rita. We've mainly been talking on the phone, and they go to the wife goes to a church. Ibra is a Muslim. He's not yet a believer, but their marriage was kind of on the rocks a few weeks ago. And Ibra called me, and we started having phone calls, and we had really good conversations. And up to now, he still hasn't received the gospel. He's still not willing to accept Jesus. But for me, what excites me is the opportunity to build a relationship with him. And I built a friendship with him now. And, even just last week, he called me just because he wanted to check on me. We had formalized counseling for about a month. And then I finally had to stop and told him, I want you to really think about the gospel before we can move forward. I don't want to move forward with you unless you are ready to commit your life to Christ. But nonetheless, I'm thankful for opportunities like that. And even his wife, and to have conversation with her and try to encourage her and help her through this time in their marriage. And then other people that I've been able to meet with is Obed himself. He's just been so discouraged because of his wife's situation. He's lost income, he can't work. And he's a pastor himself, and so just the challenges of managing his own church with a sick wife, and so just to be able to talk to him and tell him, look, this is what the church is there for. We're there for situations like this, so that we can be able to hold one another and lift up one another and support one another. And so just help him to realize we're not just here to be. We're not doing you a favor. This is our responsibility. We're there to care for you and love your family. So I've enjoyed having the conversations I've had with Ibra and so many others. And like Heidi has said, one of the things we're now wrestling with is how do we do ministry in this situation when we cannot meet in groups, Sunday services are not open. We don't know. I think it's going to be maybe another 2 months before the government opens up the churches again. And so, but the needs are there. I teach every Wednesday, and I use this app called WhatsApp, and I send these audios to our church. But I'm not sure if people are actually listening to them, and if they and I'm sensing the longer we're going into this lockdown, a lot of the people are disengaging with our teaching, and just because they're overwhelmed with the needs of finding food and paying their rent. So we started thinking we need to start finding ways to meet their needs rather than just meeting the needs as we perceive them. And what I mean by that, their needs right now is, where can I get a job? Where can I get food for my children? How can I pay my rent? So, which is why we decided, together with the elders of Nansana Bible Church, we're going to start meeting families and individuals one-on-one and try to help them. Let's think about what can we help you do to maybe start a small business, maybe give you some training that can allow you to get a job, and then use those engagements as a way to minister to them, as a way to share the gospel with them, as a way to disciple them. So I'm excited about that. I'm already working with several individuals. I think on my book here I have about 7 different people that I'm helping to either establish a business or to try and get a job. And so I'm excited to see where this goes. Or we have a lady right now. Her name is Amina, and we're trying to help her start a shop not far from our house. And I'm also working with the pastors in Kasese. Kasese is a big coffee growing area, and they have great coffee, but they lack the means to market it. They also lack the means to find ready clients who are willing to buy their coffee at a good price, because they sell it at such a low price. So I'm excited to help them as well, see if we can add some value to their coffee and find better prices for it. And then I'm working with Sheena's mom, Sheena, the young lady who whose family we're feeding right now. The mom's business was totally closed during the lockdown, and so we used some of the money that you've provided to be able to restart the business. And now we're also helping her find, because the job she had, she was making income, but she was working about maybe 18 hours a day. So she left every day at 5 a.m. and came back home at midnight. That's before the lockdown. And it was just not a good way. And she has 6 kids who do not see her at all. This is from Monday to Sunday. So we're trying to help her find something that she can do, that as a single mom, that still allows her to be available for her children. And so we're trying to help her start another small business that can allow her to do that. So anyways, there's many.
Yeah, I think I would want to just add on to that. It's just been, as someone who is kind of watching him in all these opportunities that are, as his helper, as his support staff, the one that just loves to help him to be able to run. And we were very active together, but we each have different roles that we play. And I've just really noticed that before all this coronavirus lockdown, everything hit, so much was happening with the church and the people in our church, and so much teaching in the context of the church. And then there was the business's mission with Red Road Tours and working with them, but it was it's always been a hard balance to figure out how to balance. So I felt like we were leaning really heavy in the church ministry to our church people and all of that, and that's okay. And then maybe not quite as much in Red Road Tours and the business's mission side. And now, because of coronavirus and people have lost, their income, people are struggling, actually business's mission is just taking center stage in being the ministry tool. People right now, that's how you meet them. Help me start a business. Help me. I can't work. What could I do right now? Right here in my place. Where can I go? And so, just to see, even just as of August 1st, 2 days ago, to see Amina step into move to a new location where it's a higher income location, where people are still working, even maybe from their home, to start up a business that could maybe help her as a young single woman to be able to live and survive. And so just to see a new business being birthed in just these last couple of days, it's exciting. And to see, Lord willing, hopefully she'll really be able to, just with God's help, make that grow. Only time will tell. But just wanted to encourage you, just in those areas, you could pray for us, because it's just, we don't want people to just have handouts for the rest of their life. We want to help them to use the gifts and talents that God has given them. And we just need ideas. I think that's all the time. Just please pray that God would just give us ideas, give Prince ideas, and give people that we're working with ideas on how can we, what are the needs around us, and how can we meet that in the area of business, to be able to take care of our families, especially for men, to be able to work and to provide for their families so that their wives are not having to work so much and be away from their children. And not being able to raise their kids. So I think that's just a prayer of my heart all the time. Lord, give us ideas. Give us, give Prince the strength to be able to stretch to do all this business counseling one-on-one with people.
And it's not really just business counseling. It's really spiritual counseling, because you start to help them get started with, for example, a business idea, and you realize before you can even get them to think about a business, they need to have the right spiritual mindset. And you see the uphill task that they have to overcome that. A lot of them already have given up and just think, I'm going to fail. I will always fail. I'm bound for, that's my life. I'm bound for poverty. I cannot think beyond the realms of the slum that I've been raised in. And so when I'm trying to get them to think differently, it really puts them in a very uncomfortable position. And a lot of them, I sense a lot of resistance at the beginning, because they feel like I'm very, maybe I'm being idealistic and I'm unrealistic. I'm just trying to help them say, look, let's trust God. Let's have faith in God, that He can give you, He can use the little abilities you have and bless you. I'm not asking you to do something because I think you're qualified that you're the best person to do it. But I'm asking you to do this because you have God on your side. And so He will help you, and He will provide with you with the resources, both human capital and whatever, whether it's financial, to develop you to do what He wants you to do. He will take care of you, but you need to trust Him. This is about trusting God. And it's not about trusting me, because I'm not going to be here to help you run your business. I'm just here to point you in the right direction, and helping them see that some of the ways of thinking that they're having are self-centered. Just even trying to teach them the first rule of business: think about others before thinking about yourself. That's what I always start with. Think about others. That's a godly principle. If you have not have a culture in your life that is used to think about the interests of others over your own, you won't be successful in anything you do, because you're only looking for what you can get. And so just trying to help them see that they have potential using biblical means to do something for themselves. And then that opens up conversation. And even just last week I was with a couple, and we were talking about their business, and they have a food stand, and they sell food in their little community. But through that, I forget how it came about. We started talking about their marriage, and how God wants them to be faithful in their marriage and work hard in their marriage to put in the effort that is needed, like you put in, because they both are involved in farming. So I was trying to help them see, just as you weed your farm, you need to weed your marriage. And so anyways, so it's just been fun to get all these opportunities. And so
And I think, being here, like, people really struggle to, because of just their life, they don't have any way of doing social distancing in their life in the slums. And so for us, knowing that as we go and meet with people, I went to the village and I met with a bunch of people from our church. And I mean, the first thing they did was they just came and gave me a huge hug. And then the next woman hugged me, and the next woman hugged me. And I just thought, well, if I get coronavirus, that's why I would want to get coronavirus, because we're serving, not because, I got it because I was just out shopping somewhere or at a restaurant. But I want to do it because I went and sat in this lady's little shop and held her child with special needs, and just sang with her and talked with the mom, and that's what I hope, that if we get coronavirus, that's why we get coronavirus, because we're serving the Lord and serving others and thinking of how we can be a blessing and help them.
All right, so we should probably end it here for today, but please continue to pray for us, pray for our church, Ugandans in general, because I'm meeting lots of Ugandans who don't even think coronavirus exists. They think this is a government conspiracy that's just been created by the government to oppress people. And so people are not taking it seriously, and it's starting to escalate here. So you can pray for them and pray for us, that God will continue to protect us as we continue to seek to minister to people here. And then just pray that God will give us wisdom. It's exhausting to care for people. I have to say that. It is exhausting. And I'm exhausted. By the time I finish the week, I am just spent. And I'm not just in the physical sense, but mentally, trying to think how to help people, and trying to help people overcome the cultural ties and bonds that hold them in their thinking, and there's some of these influences, family influences, culture influences, sinful influences, and all these things that you're constantly thinking, how do I help them? A sermon won't do it. I keep thinking, man, you would think, I've preached sermons, and I thought, wow, I think I've preached a great sermon, but it doesn't change people. God changes people, and we need God's wisdom to help us know how to reach the hearts of people and help them overcome the lies they've believed, to overcome this world and put their trust in Jesus. And so we need prayers for that. So anyways, thank you very much. And
we love you. We miss
love
you. And just thanks again for being with us in this ministry. Yeah.
Sorry we don't have pictures for you this time.
Yes.
But we'll hopefully have some more next time.
Sorry you just have to look at us for so long.
Yes.
But it's hard to get pictures right now because we are not meeting with people, and the people that we send the money to share, like for example out in Kasese, they don't have good phones. And so, or they're shy to take pictures. So they'll send us, we'll say, try to get some pictures of the people that you're sharing with, and then they send stuff that we really can't use. So you'll just have to take our word for it. And when the borders open, you can come visit and meet these people.
All right.
We
love you.
Bye-bye.